Hey folks, we are in the lab and we have a project here that's not going to require, I say that now, not going to require a whole bunch of work. This is a DIETZ ACME Inspector, and that's in fantastic shape. But there is that layer of oxidation. I would like to remove some of that before oiling it up. That's just the way I like to do things. I like the way of things to finish up. So, the only flaw this thing has is that it's missing the front cage. It had a good old sized dent here that I was able to get out, and it's almost non-existent. I mean, this was meant all the way around back here. And I've been contemplating removing all this stuff and just making it appear as one that never had it. So I may do that at some point. But I think we're just going to steel wool this and maybe a little nylon wheel on the Dremel. And yeah, well, it's just a little bit of a dent. That was obviously doing a lot of hanging on a nail somewhere. And something I just picked up today, by the way, thought I'd show you here. This is a DIETZ Inspector without the hood or any of it. See if you look back here, you can see where they just snap that off, and you can see where the connectors here and here. These look kind of weird. I don't know why they look so homemade like that. Maybe they just kind of been crunched a little bit. Let's look. Yeah, okay. Well, all right. Well, that's not... Maybe that was some kind of patch job. Or, I know what it is. Okay, they didn't know how to remove the hood or the reflector, so they cut it and then bent it around the corners. Okay, that makes sense. Now I've been looking at this all day and wondering what the heck that was. And that's what they did. Yeah. They cut the tin and then just bent it over and then painted over it. Interesting. Okay, so you look at these, I mean, there's no, the bayonet's different. The years on this, I believe this had the last patent number was 1920. This, I think, last patent is 1918. And the cap, this cap has DIETZ on it. This one doesn't. I don't know when they started putting DIETZ on the cap. I don't think it was that early, but I don't know. So, but this looks great. I mean, I like it. I like the way it looks like that. I like the square tube look. Pretty neat. And this was all painted shut. Like the dome there, the burner dome was like painted shut to the globe plate. And the center tube here was painted in. So it took me forever to try to get this. I had to get up underneath there with something and do some prying and broke the paint. You can kind of see there where the paint just chipped off, bing, and it popped right up. And you can see here on these slides here where it just, because that's, you could tell this thing was painted, and the only thing they ever did was put the globe back in. This was all painted, was not touched. None of this moved when I got it, and I haven't gotten that working yet. But that's another project. So maybe that's probably not even going to be a project. I'll probably fill in those chip paint with like a Sharpie and put it on the shelf. That'll look pretty. Until maybe I need parts or something. It was very cheap, so that's why I got it. So that's what we're going to do with this. We're just going to hit it with some steel wool and I mean, we'll find other things. We'll probably, you know, I'm probably just going to polish up the burner and polish up the reflector back there. You know, I mean, we'll do some things. I'm just saying steel wool, let it go. But all right, and we got Supervisor Baby here with us. So all right, let's get to work. Right. And this, I think this globe is cool as hell. Look at that swirl. I don't know if you can tell, but got a swirl that starts here, goes all the way around there, and it's so prominent that I can feel it. Look at that. How great is that? I love that. And that gives... Oh, I know what that is. That's a severe thunderstorm warning because I can hear the rumbling coming. But this is so great. And that's why I love globes with bubbles and swirls and stuff like that, because that makes them completely one of a kind, just like a marble. People that collect marbles go nuts for ones with certain kind of weird things going on inside. That's so cool. I love that. I was contemplating popping in one of my Corning CNX hot blast globes in here, but this is so cool. This might just stay with it. Love that. And this will look even, you'll see it better when it's cleaned up too. All right. So, reflector. Look at that. Holy moly, how cool is that? That just made my day finding that sticker back there. Guaranteed best lead glass, DIETZ, oil finished, fireproof. Established 1840. Look at that. Wow, got to be careful with that. Paper badging from something 100 years old. Yikes, I got to be careful. Got to be careful. Okay. So yeah, look, it's still some remaining tin back here. Boy, this thing was pristine and then just probably stored in the wrong spot. All right. Okay. Well, we are a little seized up in there. Why don't I see if I can get this globe plate out. Let's see. Well, okay, that worked. Yes. All right. And I have been playing with Evapo-Rust. I've been doing, I don't know if you saw the video, did a test on Evapo-Rust. But I don't think that's going to be good for this, because I can get this down just fine the way I've been doing things. So won't do that. I'll just hit this with the brushes and that'll look beauteous. Okay. So yeah, that's a little seized up there. So I'm not sure I'm gonna get anywhere near the leverage I need because of our cramped quarters here. So I know that the burner If I open that clip off, I can get the top of the burner out, and then I can get down at the burner and get that loosened up. I think that's a very good bet. All right, let's see if I can do that. Well, I still have to turn it enough to get it out, duh. Okay, well. So, you're not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to try to get that other tab opened. There's one of these in the back, and I have access to back here, barely. Well, I can get a screwdriver in there, but I don't know how I'm going to get pressure on it. I'm gonna have to put my headset on, or my headlamp, because I can't see behind there, down in the hole. Let's see. Remember at the part at the beginning of this video where I said, this should be a pretty easy job.
Not going to require a whole bunch of work.
All right, there it is. Can I get it from here? Sorry if you're out of frame here, folks, but I can't bring you along to see this right now. Oh, I got it. I got a screwdriver in there. I just need a little tappy assistance. All right, just one more little. There. All right, so both those tabs are open. So this should not be connected, and I can see it there. It is not connected to the burner, but I can't get it to turn because the bayonet is not turning. Okay, I wasn't thinking about that, but we are disconnected from the burner underneath. I suppose what I can do is bend this tab up. Oh, I don't want to do it. See if I can go up and over with that. Then I can work on the burner. Maybe I'll just do that. I did it. That worked. Okay, so it's this that is in there. Look at all that WD in there. At least I know we hit my target for WD. Okay, so I'm just going to try a little prying action. Yeah, I don't want to cause other things to bend, so we may have to come back to this. steel wool dust on my magnetic tipped screwdriver. Look at that. Yep. It's a sandbag, by the way. A friend of mine sewed them up for me. I filled them up with sandbox sand. Beautiful. All right, I got it. So, got myself a little extra leverage here. Got under there. And I had delayed this because, yeah, it's a power flicker in here. A little something going on from this lightning. And it's off, and it doesn't look that bad. What was holding that on there? Amazing for the shape that's in. But I can take a bit to that. Yeah, okay. In there is where the problem is. This is perfect. All right. So I'm going to dip this in the evapor rust I have behind me and just give it a couple of minutes tooling around in there until we get this done. And then when it comes to cleaning this off, I want to make sure that we get everything out of the inside in case there's any rust in the mechanism here. Why not? Right? I don't know what else to use that stuff for other than little things like this. So let's do that. There's my little note saying that I put stuff in here. You want to talk about stuck burner. Yeah, this was in a very badly trashed, I forget if it was a D-Light or if it was a Defiance Triumph. But it was so incredibly rusted. The fount, it had no bottom left to it. And I was trying to get the burner out, and I said, what the hell, I'll just pry the whole thing out. So you can see why I was a little worried about getting that out. I don't know if you can see here, but here's the spout that's still in there, still connected here. So I figure hopefully if I soak this, I mean, this is shot, right? This is shot. Yeah, you can see. But there's a curiosity in me that wants to make a Frankenstein lantern out of all the weird parts I have. That'll be something I'll do in like January when I'm under a couple feet of snow here. And these are other Defiance Triumph parts. These are things that I salvaged off the, I've actually had two junker Defiance Triumphs. Oh, there's another piece, Defiance piece. So I'm just going to plop this in here. Why not? We'll just plop that in there for a while until we get this baby done, and I'll dig it out. So now I can proceed with less worry, and I see that's got a baffle in it. And like I said, I'll take a Dremel to that. And I'm going to bend that back down. Get out of the way, because otherwise steel wool will be grabbing on that. All right, won't go too far back down until it comes to reassembly time. Okay, where were we? Oh, yes. Yeah, see, there's a patina in this metal that would completely go away if I used evapor rust on this whole thing. I think this thing would just look like total dog crap after an evapor rust soak. That's just me. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going super heavy on the removal of any of this oxidation. I just want to get it down a couple layers and then treat it, hold it in, lock it in. Now, I was contemplating using I still may use the nylon bit for some stuff, but I was contemplating it for doing the whole thing because it's like a matchstick eraser for this oxidated stuff. But it can be inconsistent over a large surface area. It can leave inconsistent patterns depending on what areas you're working on. Depending on how you work, I mean, you know, whether you work like that, and then like that, and then like that, or across here, and then across there, and then across there. It'll leave some patterns, maybe that most people won't see, but I know I see. I've seen that in a couple lanterns, and I'd end up having to go over it with steel wool anyway to kind of get rid of those marks. I call them brush marks. I guess they kind of are, right? Boy, you know, this thing for picking up, I should just go get a big old rare earth magnet. That'll make cleaning up all this stuff so much easier. I didn't even think about that before. Oh, it reminds me of high school science class. Yeah, so we've pretty much done all the big surfaces. There's some brass here, two of these guides. So yeah, maybe that's what I'll do now. I'll break out. Already broken in. Get a couple of these gray ones. These are 800 grit and they're already very softened up from getting use. Let's see what they do for us here. Okay, so we got these little nooks and crannies in there that are just jammed with steel wool stuff. I'm going to use a couple of these. Make a little loop, kind of a little grabby loop, and pull it out. Yeah, unfortunately, it's all mixed with WD. All the steel wool dust is off before I treat, because I think it's promoting rust on my nice clean treated lanterns. It's just a theory, but I think it's very plausible. All right, so I think we're just about there. We're just about to go on to treating, but I gotta clean all the steel wool dust off this thing. So first I'll just do a very quick preliminary brushing of it. And then I'm going to clean the whole work area off here. And then we'll do another cleaning off, because like I said, there's areas in here where there is steel wool dust mixed with WD and it's sticking to everything. Okay, I'll return after I do a little cleanup here. Right. Okay, little troubled areas here that I can't really get at with the steel wool. Okay, so let's see, I think Supervisor Baby can come back over. All right. Okay, this will just take me a second. We'll pull a little treatment on this stuff, and wipe it down, and then we'll go on. There's a couple maintenance things yet on the body of the inspector I want to address first before we assemble. Okay. Yeah, reassemble this sucker here. I think Mr. Beanbag might be able to help with this, so I don't put dents in things. This is why these are the best. That's why it's good to have these things. We are in and we are golden. Okay. So I've been struggling for about 15 minutes, losing my mind. Right. Okay. Well, quite a debacle. My God, what a break that was. Well, I don't want to say a break, but I was kept away for like a half an hour trying to figure out what the deal is with the wicks. I'm looking at all my wicks. I got 6-inch rolls. They're all rolled up and they're labeled and everything. And I'm going, what in the heck? It's 5/8, 5/8, 5/8. Nope. 3/4. I have what I thought was a 5/8 roll from Amazon. Was labeled as 5/8. It's 3/4. So that whole debacle, I'm sitting there pulling my brain out. I'm pulling lanterns down off shelves and looking. I'm like, it just doesn't fit in there. It says 5/8 fits in there. I had it labeled as 5/8, but it was a roll of 3/4. So I'm like, wait, there's no way. This is a different burner. It's got to be. So, well, I got it all figured out. Okay, so where are we at now? We got this. That's ready to go. That's ready to go. I want to do a little work here. There you are. Now, there are many people that love they love a lantern completely covered in that thin rust-like layer. And that's great. That is great. Just nothing wrong with that. It's just not, I don't like it. I don't like it. Probably because there's nothing I can do to it. I mean, I don't want to buy a rusty thing and just have it just stay like that. I like to kind of make things mine by doing things my own way with them. And that's the chef in me. You know what I'm saying? If every chef did every recipe the same way, what kind of world would we have? I mean, what would Main Street be full of? It would just be like a generic food hole. Here's your food hole. We all make the food exactly the same way. And that's the beauty of competition. And the way I thought and do think. As a chef, as customers will follow you for your versions of, say, popular mainstream dishes, depending on what region you're in or what country you're in. And it's all the same way. And if you're a chef and you feel confident in your work, like, well, I don't know if anybody's going to like it. Well, do the things you want to do. If they like it, they will come. And I always stuck true to that, and I didn't. I mean, when I was working under a chef, of course, I did things exactly the way chef wanted me to do them because that's what I was hired there to do. But when I became chef, I'm like, this is exactly the way I want this done. And there are no two ways about it. If you want to make your own dish and do it your way and call it yours, that's great. But if it's my menu, I need you to do things exactly the way I do them. Otherwise, you're going to have angry people saying, I was just here a couple days ago and got this delicious dish. The plate looked like this, the plate looked like that. And then I came in a couple days later, it was all different. That's consistency is the key. And that's the way I think about it too. That's what I'm doing here. I mean, I don't want to, if I was listening to the status quo, maybe I better not be putting oil on that because everybody says I shouldn't. Or most of them don't. Some do. I just want to do it the way I want to do it. It's just that simple. Let me go get a fresh rag. Right. This is gonna be fun with my chopstick and my rag, getting into all these little corners and things. I don't know why I'm recording this whole thing, but I figured I could put it in a time lapse and put some music to it. I've been trying to find some new tunes by downloading some no copyright music. It's pretty hard to find good tunes without a copyright or any royalties on them. Not easy at all. But good thing I like jazz and I like blues. All right. Let's put this back on first. Beautiful. Come on now. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. We are in business. And by the way, I would like to now read these patent dates. Yeah, that is day 13. September 16th. 13 was the last patent date. Now, let me go clean up the globe. And I'll bring in the Corning one too. I want to see how it looks in there just for fun. So I'm cleaning up this thing and I am not touching that. I am leaving it just like that is. Not gonna mess with it. All right. Now, globes. Okay, so what we have here. So this is the Corning CNX. And this one's got a couple of really nice swirls and some bubbles in it. I think that's so cool. Love it. This has got the biggest swirl I've ever seen. Look at that. I mean, it's indented. Look at that. Look at the indentation on that. Look at that. That's just great. I could just see somebody at the glass factory with a big old stick full of a big glob of glass and plops it in the mold, you know, and those drips coming off. That's probably one of them drips. Cool. But I kind of want to put one of these in here. Before I forget, before I pop this in, I want to take a picture of that. Click. Click. Okay. Because I'm putting this in here and I don't want to take it out again. Yeah. All right. I want to see how this looks in here. Whoops. I did that all wrong. That looks delicious in there. Sounds like that's the lens clanking back there. Let's take a look. Ugh. I think I need to bend these up a little bit. I might have moved them a little bit while cleaning this thing. Beautiful. Okay. we go. Corning glass. Corning, very close to Syracuse, where this was built. Nice. This is gonna make somebody very happy for their collection, I think. So, here we are. Boy, DIETZ ACME INSPECTOR with the wrong size wick. Yeah, that was really something. And, oh yeah, little size comparison here. Super baby. Folks, thank you very much for hanging around for this rainy evening here in the lab. And that should just about do it. And as usual, folks, don't you go change it.